This is Nadine bringing you Ventura Vibe, a podcast featuring the local treasures of people and places that make our community here in Ventura so special. I've got interviews, games, community resources, and volunteer opportunities to get us connected. So let's get started. Yes, I am bringing you another show about bikes in Ventura. We just have so much to talk about that I thought I would split it up into two shows. Today's show is more about the advocacy and policy side. I have Joey Juhas Lukomsky, the executive director of Bike Ventura, with me in the studio. Welcome to the show, Joey.
Hi, Nadine. Thank you. It's great to be here.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
Tell me a little bit about the inception of Bike Ventura.
Yeah, so Bike Ventura has been around for about 3 years now, but it was previously, there was an organization called VC Cool, which stood for Ventura County Climate Options Organized Locally.
Ooh.
And it was a great organization, did a lot of great work around climate change for a long time, for about 10 years. But Bike Ventura, after a while, the board sort of realized that the programming that was really sticking, getting the most attention, that seemed sustainable, was stuff centered around bicycling and bikes, like the Hub, for example. So the board decided that they would kind of give the organization a new face, really kind of focus and hone in on bicycle advocacy, bicycle education, and that's how Bike Ventura started.
Excellent. And how did you come on board?
I was in Santa Barbara for about 4 or 5 years working for the Santa Barbara Bicycle Coalition, as an administrator in that organization. And I'd met a lot of Ventura folks for a while. I was at the strategic plan meeting where they came up with this idea to turn into Bike Ventura, kind of not really consulting, but more as a friend, really. I've known Toby for a long time. And when I left Santa Barbara Bicycle Coalition, I was asked to come down and lead Bike Ventura, and it seemed like a really great opportunity, so I jumped at the chance.
Well, great. That's awesome. Let's go more into what Bike Ventura is and what its mission is.
It's a really great mission because it's not, let's get everyone riding a bicycle right now. Our mission is to foster safe, healthy, and equitable communities through bicycle education, empowerment, and advocacy. So what that means is we see the bicycle as a tool to make people's lives better, happier, make everyone feel like everything is more accessible through this healthier form of transportation. And in this lovely beach town, activity, being active, and thinking about the environment, of course, it really makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. But it's not just about, it's not for everybody.
Right.
But if it can be a place where anyone can feel safe and comfortable and can have fun riding a bike, that's what we want to see. And I think everyone really stands to benefit from a community that looks like that.
Yes, excellent. Is Bike Ventura responsible for the green painted lanes that I ride on in some Ventura streets?
Well, I guess the city is responsible for those.
Okay.
Thank goodness. We're not liable for anyone slipping on paint. But we have definitely done a lot of advocacy work over the years to make sure that when these streets are getting restriped or designed, they're thinking about bicycles and people that need to ride bikes when they do that. So in a way, we have some responsibility for getting those laid down on the ground.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. How about the bike paths? Is Bike Ventura part of that push to get are they called Class 1 bike paths in Ventura?
Yeah, I think that, to my knowledge, any Class 1 that Ventura has now was probably built many years ago.
Okay.
But I think what's cool is that people, again, of all shapes, sizes, and colors, ride these bike paths, and they see that that's kind of the best place to ride a bike. That's where you see kids riding. That's where you see seniors riding. That's where you see big families riding, tourists.
That's where I am riding.
That's where you're riding, exactly. So this is the place that this gives people an opportunity to see that when you have this separated bike path, you don't have to share the road with cars.
Yes.
That's where you feel safe riding. That's where you have the most enjoyable ride. So with that, we're going to continue to push for that kind of path to be built in the future.
Okay, I support that.
Yeah,
Thank
let's get
you.
more of those.
Yes. Any future bike paths in the works?
Yes. I think that there's a couple ideas for bike paths that are very, very strong candidates for putting in a bike path like the ones we see to Ojai or along the beach here in Ventura. And those are one along what's called the Santa Paula branch line, which is the railroad that goes from kind of East Ventura all the way up to Fillmore and beyond, actually.
Okay.
And so there's a pretty strong connection that could be made if we got a Class 1 bike path kind of next to that railroad line, which actually VCTC, the Ventura County Transportation Commission, already has the right of way to. So there's a chance that could get built within the next few years, and that would really open up Montalvo and Johnson Drive, any new development down there, to East Ventura.
Wow.
All the way up to Saticoy, and it would open up Saticoy to be able to ride a bike down to the 101 bridge, then ride across into Oxnard.
Wow.
And then also kind of on that same parallel is the Santa Clara River Loop Trail.
Okay. Very good.
Which would be something really incredible if we had a path that sort of circled on both sides of the Santa Clara River, so Oxnard and Ventura, and then connected with the 101 bridge, which has a little bike lane. Many people don't realize this when they drive across it, but there is a bicycle and pedestrian crossing on that bridge as well.
Oh,
that's separate from the highway traffic, which is great. And up to the 118.
Okay.
So again, kind of connecting like the job center, recreation center, shopping at like the collection, all the way up to somewhere like Saticoy.
Yes. That is one thing I do like when a bike path, you can go somewhere productive, not just a scenic ride, but sometimes when you can get errands done and have
Yeah, absolutely.
Feel productive while on your bike. So Joey, what is Bike Ventura's top priority?
That's a great question. I think that our top priority, maybe it's more of a guiding principle than top priority, is that we want that community input to guide what we're doing. We don't want to just put down bike lanes without a community asking for it. We want to be listeners first. So I'd say kind of that's our first step towards thing is listening, and that's why our community outreach is so important.
And what is the best way for the community to give you input?
Well, there's a variety of ways. They can just pop in and talk to me, of course. I really enjoy talking to people that are excited to talk about this stuff, even and maybe especially if they might kind of challenge my preconceptions around getting around or bicycling or something like that. But email's fine, stopping in, and then as we continue to work with the city around something like this active transportation plan, there's going to be kind of like pop-up workshops where folks can come and they can, like I said, like put stickers on a map and talk about where the big transportation challenges are in the city. So, and we're definitely going to be broadcasting that out. As soon as we kind of find out when that's happening, we'll let everyone know.
Okay, and we'll keep our eyes open for that information, and I'll try and spread the word too.
Great. Thank you, Nadine.
Okay, good. I was reading something about mode share goal in the city of Ventura's general plan. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Okay. Well, the city, as many people know, is updating their general plan for the next 15 years.
Wow.
And one thing that's not in there is what's called a mode share goal. And mode share, it basically just means how are people getting to work or around? Are they driving to work? Are they walking, using the bus or transit, or maybe riding their bicycle? And a mode share goal percentage would be, hey, we want to see this percent of people using their bicycle to get from point A to point B. Mostly, in most cases, like to work for commuting and something like that. So a goal in the general plan would be a really strong statement of saying we want to work towards this, and this goal is going to be our guidepost for when we design streets, when we build new paths, etc.
Okay. What do you know what the numbers are for how many people ride their bike to?
Yeah. My guess right now in Ventura is the mode share is probably somewhere around like 1%.
Okay.
So even 5% would be, quintupling that.
Yes.
Which, would be great.
Wow.
And I mean, of course, it might not need mentioning, but this is one of those cities where you could bike to work year round.
Yes.
With the weather.
Pretty much.
But what's stopping maybe a lot of folks is that they just don't feel safe or comfortable doing that.
Yes. Right. Okay. So talk about Bike Ventura's Our Accessible Community Goal. Is that the same as the mode share? Or?
No, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The Our Accessible Community is a sort of another one of these portions of the Ventura. It's language from the Ventura General Plan.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's about Ventura's, they put it right in the General Plan. We want to foster an accessible community. What that means is, traffic is people can get from point A to point B easily by car, but they also mention people can take the bus, they can walk, they can ride bikes. So, I mean, Ventura, at least in this language, seems to acknowledge that they want people getting around in a variety of ways.
Oh, good. Okay.
Because they do know, too, that if more people are biking, they're not driving in cars, so that has less of a traffic impact.
Okay. Well, tell me about your push to get the city of Ventura to write an ambitious active transportation plan. What does that mean?
Yeah. So the active transportation plan is something that they'll be working on in 2020. And what that is it's a plan around active transportation, which essentially is just kind of not driving.
Okay.
So biking, walking, but also using transit like the bus. And yeah, I mean, it's our goal to to see that that's kind of ambitious as a plan as possible. And I think a 5% mode share goal in the general plan would be pretty ambitious. So you're going to need an active transportation plan that will support that.
Okay, so these three things are very interrelated.
They're very interrelated,
okay.
yeah. But the active transportation plan is going to be especially exciting because in the general plan, it's just that. It's very general. But this is kind of a little more of a nitty-gritty,
Okay.
Lines on a map,
Ah,
pie in the sky, dreams laid out here in this active transportation plan.
okay. So how do people get informed about these issues?
Well, I would love for Bike Ventura to just be the place that is able to kind of broadcast this sort of thing and share it with the world. So through our newsletter or other media outreach from us, I'm happy to be the one that kind of combs these agendas and looks out for this sort of thing. And we do our best to inform the public about, or at least the people that care and are interested in what we're doing about what's going on. But the city also has some good email updates that you can sign up for.
Oh, okay.
So you can sign up to receive agendas from city council to like planning commission. That's what I do. And then I read those. And if I see something about bikes, I'll try to share that through our newsletter.
Oh, very good. On social media?
Social media?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So tell me, what is your website? Tell me the website.
Our website is bikeventura.org.
Excellent. Okay, you share that with the Bike Hub, yes?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And I just want to clarify that the Bike Hub is a program within Bike Ventura.
Indeed it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Just to clarify, you're not two separate entities. Okay, so it's time to take a break.
Wow, okay,
We're going to
that
take
was
a little
great.
break. When we come back, I'm going to wrap up the interview, find out where Joey gets his Ventura vibe on, and play the part 2 version of the game I played with Toby. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening to Ventura Vibe, a podcast celebrating the local treasures of Ventura, California. I'm your host, Nadine. I'm in the studio talking with Joey Juhas Lukomsky.
2 for 2. Very good.
Oh my goodness, I don't want to mess that up. The executive director of Bike Ventura. We've been talking about all the great, exciting changes in bike infrastructure in Ventura. now I'd like to ask Joey about the Ventura City Council. Would you say they're bike friendly? Are they very supportive of issues that you bring up to them?
I think that City Council really recognizes that working bikes into plans and thinking about people bicycling, is a good idea. I think that generally they do understand that.
Very good. Now, do you work with city, county agencies to advocate for policies or grants and funding?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say that, city staff in Ventura has been really awesome to work with over the last 2 years that I've been working with them. So, and we support each other around this sixth grade bicycle education program in middle schools. So that's an awesome partnership. And then as far as advocacy goes, I think that, again, they're really receptive to our input, and I really, really appreciate them.
Very good. I'm glad to hear.
Yeah.
All right. And then, do you have stuff happening at the state level?
There's always stuff happening at the state level for sure. And I think that the state advocacy organization, CalBike, is doing some really awesome work on our behalf and every other city, county in the state. They're talking about their state agenda is accessible on their website, I think, calbike.org.
Okay.
But they're working on stuff like speed limit laws, trying to slow down cars, the big bill last year around complete streets.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about the bike path along the 101. Is that one of their projects?
Yeah, I guess that is that's Caltrans.
Oh, okay.
For sure. Yeah. And then we may see, too, actually, the construction start on the Rincon connection, so that, I don't know if you're familiar, many people may be, if you're riding from Carpinteria to Ventura, there is that one portion of the highway where you need to get on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But construction will start soon for a path so that you don't have to get on the 101 even for just that little second.
Oh, that is good news.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a few more minutes. Can we talk about current projects like the Oxnard bike lanes?
Oxnard is also really starting to recognize that they need to think about not just building streets that are friendly for bikes, but just kind of slowing down cars in general. It's been a bad year down there. So they're really kind of starting with some very modest designs. And I think it's, again, kind of up to us as advocates, to really kind of show them what things could look like versus what they've seen already, which might be just very kind of plain Jane bike lanes on the side of the road, especially on roads like 50 miles per hour, right? So a bike lane 3 foot wide with cars going 50 miles per hour next to you, the only separation is this, 1 centimeter thick, 3-inch wide white stripe of paint. That's kind of woefully inadequate. So, but it's just not for lack of... it's not because they don't see the need. It's just maybe we need to kind of encourage them to have a little more imagination. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Move that up their priority chain, right? Okay.
Exactly.
And then I want to hear about the Ventura Avenue Oxnard Needs Assessment.
Yeah. So there's a state program, without getting too much into the nuts and bolts. There's a state voucher program around electric zero-emission vehicle sharing. But what communities need to do first is do a transportation needs assessment. So what that looks like is really figuring out and hearing from the community what they think is needed around transportation. And I imagine that, a lot of folks will have stuff to say about better bus routes, bus access, and then I would hope biking and walking as well. So on the avenue, for example, I see more people biking on the avenue than I do on the coastal bike path every day.
Wow.
I mean, there's up and down. It's a really valuable corridor for that.
Yes.
So, if I pull someone off and I say, hey, what do you think about biking on the avenue? They're going to say, well, I do it, but it's not the most fun thing in the world because there's no bike lanes. So
Right.
I would hope that that's something that kind of comes out of that. There's a lot of good community input.
Oh, good. Yay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll push for that. More community input. Okay. Oh, my goodness. I have to insert one more question is, Joey, where do you get your Ventura Vibe on?
This might seem like a pretty obvious answer. Forgive me for not being more creative, but I get my Ventura Vibe on when I'm riding my bike around. ideally with some youth, and we're all exploring Ventura together. I'm relatively new to the area, so when we're all riding around pointing out new things, it's their first time on a street, it's my first time on a street, there's nothing like it. And that's when I really think to myself, wow, we live in a really cool place.
Awesome. That's an awesome answer. So, it's time to play a game. Are you
All right.
ready?
I'm really ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And now it's time for a game I'm calling Bike-O-Rama Part 2.
Oui, oui.
All right. All righty. I've got my bell. All right, Joey. Question number 1. Biggest hurdle to overcome in Ventura regarding bikes?
The biggest hurdle is going to be funding for these projects. Again, City Council, they want to do all this great stuff, but they're always going to be up against a wall as far as money goes.
Question number 2. Biggest misconception about bicyclists in Ventura?
I think this is here and maybe in a lot of places too. It's that everyone is out there just having fun. They don't care about anyone else on the road, that they're just running stop signs or they're in spandex burning calories, right? There's folks out there that are using their bike because they don't have any other way to get to work, to get to services, to get to school. And those are the people that we really need to take care of.
And question number 3. Favorite bike ride in Ventura?
I will always love just riding up to Ojai and back on that path. There's nothing like it, and it's a real gem.
Awesome. Joey, you've won the game.
Fantastic.
I want to thank Joey for being such a great sport and playing my game. Okay, and now it's time for the Community Chest segment. This is where I highlight volunteer opportunities and community resources. Joey, does Bike Ventura have opportunities to volunteer?
Yes, we do. We're having an 2020 advocacy kickoff meeting January 15th. That's a Wednesday at 7 p.m. at our shop.
Okay.
And this is an opportunity to come out and talk and tell us what you think is important to you as far as this advocacy. What do you want to tell the city that you want to see here in Ventura or Oxnard or in the county?
Will these be ongoing meetings that will occur
Yes,
frequently? Okay.
They will be. Yes. So this is our kickoff. And so ideally, too, we get some input as to what is the best meeting time moving forward.
Okay.
So I don't want to just pick it for everyone. I want everyone to kind of have a
Very
collective
good.
input as far as that goes. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think this is the year that we can really get some great stuff done.
Excellent. How about, I know Toby needed a lot of volunteers for just different things. Are there other areas of volunteering for Bike Ventura?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a lot of great youth programming. I don't know if
Good.
Toby mentioned that,
Oh.
but if anyone is interested in working with youth, I'll tell you, it's incredibly rewarding.
Yes.
This week alone, I taught, I think, 12 kids to ride a bike for the first time.
Wow.
So you remember that feeling when you
Yes.
learned to ride a bike for the first time.
Yes.
So creating that moment, being there when that happens for someone else is like a really special, really
Yes.
special thing. So for that, it kind of, there's a variety of opportunities there. If you'd like to get involved in our youth programming, just you can write me an email, joey@bikeventura.org.
Excellent. Oh, that sounds like an exciting and fun opportunity. Oh, how about, is there an age requirement for volunteering? So we have a lot of high schoolers and some middle schoolers looking for community service hours. Are they welcome?
They are welcome. I think the best place for them to get involved would be at the shop. So every Wednesday, of course, at the Ventura Bike Hub, 490 North Ventura Avenue. Wednesday is our volunteer day from 3 to 8 p.m. And that's just a cool opportunity to learn bike mechanics for free. I mean, there's no experience required, and Toby or someone else is there to kind of show you how to do whatever it is that you'll be doing. And that's just a really awesome thing. And of
Yeah.
course, it helps us out a lot too.
Oh, good. Very good. I think I told Toby that I am going to commit on signing up too. I need to learn these skills.
You've told us both, so
Yes.
now we got two
Okay.
people that are going to hold you to
Yes.
that.
All
so.
right. I'm coming in.
Wonderful.
All righty. Well, that is our show. I want to thank you, Joey, so much for joining me today. I feel better informed about our bike culture in Ventura.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
And that wraps 2 episodes all about bikes, bike culture, bike advocacy in and around Ventura. I hope you found the information as interesting as I did. I love the recreational aspect of biking, but I also am glad to know there's a community of commuters that are being listened to. I now know where to find more information, and I'm going to pay more attention to City Council agendas as it pertains to transportation, safety, and community needs. I would love to see more Class 1 bike paths in Ventura. Our beautiful bike-friendly city has the potential to be a world-class biking, alternative transportation model, and inspiration. Dream big, Ventura. Thanks for listening. Thanks so much for listening to Ventura Vibe, a podcast dedicated to celebrating the community of Ventura, California.